Yes, the first time, yeah, mute your microphone by yourself, and the second, you are not able to give the statement if the moderator doesn't allow you to speak up. And the third, focus on the topic of discussion. And the fourth, the hosts are capable of cutting your statement if they think that your statement is enough. And the fifth, encourage to be active in the discussion because this displays or this chance for practicing our English. If you don't practice now, then when? If you don't practice here, then where? So the sixth, raise your hand on the participant button. So I please you to check the try to raise your hand. Okay, anyone can raise your hand. Yeah, it's like Mr. Sahibulinski, Miss Ria. Okay, anyone can raise your hand. Mr. Moonshine, can you raise your hand to give the example?
No, I can't. Sorry, Mr. Ku. No, I can't.
Okay. The left. Okay, yeah, I think enough. Okay, I please you to lower your hand. And it's very interesting topic for being discussed, and I please you for the precious. No, no, I mean the churches moderator. I please you, Miss Jenia. Miss Jenia, yeah. Can you unmute first? Unmute your microphone.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Uh, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. Thank you for the opportunity. Good night. My name is Dania, and I'm from Bali. Now I'm staying in Denpasar, Bali. So if you have a holiday in here, maybe you can contact me. All right. So today we're gonna discuss about climate change. Tell me, I've been hearing a lot of news about quite complex topic because there's a lot of data and research from various organizations in the world. So hopefully some of the things that I include in this PowerPoint can represent them. Yeah, it is climate change, the cause, effect, and control. There is any 923 jurisdictions in 13 countries declare a climate emergency. So before that, I want to ask you all participants in here tonight, what do you know about climate change? Is there anyone? Is there anyone wanna try to answer what do you know about climate change? Oh, you cannot hear me. Wait, wait. Test. Is it clear right now?
Yes, Miss. Yes. Keep it
I'm
that way.
sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
Where were
fine.
we going before?
Just start from beginning again. Don't worry.
All right. I don't know if you doesn't hear my voice. Alright guys, so today we're gonna talking about climate change, its cause, effect, and control. Um, there is any 926 jurisdictions in 13 countries declare a climate change emergency. So the question is, what do you know about climate change? Yeah, Mr.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Hello?
yes.
Okay, well, climate change. In the simple definition that I know, climate change is the change or the alteration of temperature or even the
Yeah.
weather in some places because of the activity of humans, such as the activity of factory because they consumed a fog a lot. So this fog affects to how the climate change in some places. So different places maybe can be different change in the climates like in Jakarta. Of course, will be different with the climate in another places like in Sumatra maybe because in Sumatra still has so many forests and also trees. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your opinion. Wow, there is a lot of participants wanna try to answer. Let me. Yeah, Mr. Ku.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. I like to give uh, the statement or the answer about what do you know about the climate change. Climate change that I agree from Mr. Sohibu Zizni for the opinion that yeah the climate will change because of uh, the climate change will transform or the transform way or the people life means it's like we need the people or the societies need to fulfill their life need daily life need means the we might as well we have to follow like modernization or globalization because of we need to pursue or yeah we need to pursue about the daily life or life need yeah life need like it. Life need means we have to we can how to say we get the impact of climate change. I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we go to the next participant. Mr. Jelajah Ilmu, how do you think about climate change? Mr. Jelajah Ilmu?
Hello,
Yeah.
you got my voice.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hello?
here is not. Hello, hello, you got my voice.
Yes, Mr. Jelajah Ilmu.
Hello.
Oh, I think he's not got our voice.
Okay. Thanks for your time, giving time. I mean, giving time. What do you know about climate change? In my opinions, climate change is the term, the long term. Hello.
Yeah. You can continue your opinion.
Okay. Climate change is the long term, uh, the long term changing of temperature in our Earth, and and changing uh, changing weather. I mean, the normal weather becomes the bad weather in our for example, in north beach of Jakarta, the sea increase undergo like that. That all for me. Hello.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jelajah Ilmu, for your statement. So he said that climate change it's not only comes from the long-term changing of temperature, but also a less predictable weather. For the example is is so another opinion maybe
Is it my time?
yeah, it's your time. Time is yours.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry for my fucking signal in this position. Well, maybe it's only in my opinion from my books that I have ever read. Um, when not only limited by the weather or seasons, it's the whole of them. Maybe it's gonna be right. It's gonna be like something um, the compilation of the season in a region. So the climate change is something related with the change of the season in an area. Seems like we live in the tropical climate in Indonesia when we have two seasons, the rainy and the dry season. When we talk about the climate change, so in my imagination, it's gonna be the new season comes up. Maybe it seems like the season of autumn, winter, maybe. Wow, winter happened in Indonesia. That's one kind of the climate change terminology in my opinion. And when we talk about it, I suppose that we need to distinguish between the climate change and global warming because global warming are quite different from the climate change itself. Even though sometimes global warming give huge impact to the climate change itself. So yes, seems like what I said before, it's the compilation of season that change in a region in the certain time. That is the climate change, in my opinion. Thank you.
Wow, that's an amazing statement, Mr. Ahmad Fatullah. Thank you for your opinion. And then we have Mr. Moonshine.
All right, thank you, Miss Dania. I just wanna add some more about the climate change because I already agree with all the speaker before. So I just wanna add something like the climate change about the changing of the season maybe or the increasing of our temperature or weather in some area, and it's also because of the effect. It's also because of it's driven by human greed. For example, like the exploration of our resources, or maybe because of a lot of factories, or maybe they don't have the term or the design about the eco factory things, something like that. So I just want to add that because of the human grid, driven by the human grid. So that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Moonshine. So it's really interesting. Yeah, we got a lot of answer. So some people think if climate change because of the increase of temperature in the atmosphere, and then also it's actually not all of it, because it also depends on the weather and the I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous, and the others term. So maybe from this picture, as you can see, is it which one of this picture shows climate change, or which one of it which one of them it shows global warming, or both of them show yeah, Mr. Ahmad Fatullah.
Well, it depends on my definition before. So none of them are climate change example, because it's not represents about the situation in the region that you said. Seems like uh, the burn of the trees of forests that um, image on the left side of this picture, and the flood that happens on the right side. Both of them are not the example of the climate change. However, when we said about the damage of the left side, I can say that the left side is giving a huge impact to the global warming that happen in our world. So yes, thank you. Sorry.
All right, that's a good answer. Mr. Ahmad said that not both of it. Yeah, Mr. Munshan, maybe you wanna try to give an
Yeah. I just want to have a different opinion with Mr. Ahmad Fatullah.
oh, all right.
Yeah, I think it's a part of the climate change. Maybe the effect of because of the climate change. What I heard from the speakers before, when they are try to define about climate change, about the increase of temperature, something like that, and it maybe make make a lot of ice land melted, something like that. So it means that it created a lot of it it create our land, our earth is dominated by water. So I think that make a flood can happen. And about the forest burning on the left side, so I think it's because of the methane or carbon dioxide that stay in our atmosphere. So it makes the temperature in our earth is increasing, so heat and so hot. So it can create, or it can stimulate the heat. How to say it, like I forget the academic word, but it can stimulate the heat point in some areas, for example, like in Australia, in Amazon, in Brazil, and now it also happened in Turkey. So it means that it's not just about one specific area. It also happened in other area. Than and in Indonesia, it's also already happened since a long time ago, because of the development, or the development of our country is really so aggressive. So, yeah, we can call it so aggressive. So it means that, yeah, maybe I can say it's a part or effect of the climate change. Thank you, Miss Daniel.
All right, thank you, Mr. Moonshine. So, there is no wrong or right with your guys' opinion, because one another was connected. And why? Because global warming is just one aspect of climate change. Global warming refers to the rise in global temperature to increasing concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, as your guys talking, to increase in the measure of climate over a long period of time. So one of you said this statement before, and that's right. It's including precipitation, temperature, and wind patterns. It may cause a weather pattern to be less predictable. That's right. So weather in here refers to short-term atmospheric condition, like and while climate is the weather of a specific region average over a long period of time. Specific region in here is every area are different, like Mr. Moonshine said before. Maybe in Indonesia we're gonna have a climate change different with the others area. So it it has also been connected with other damaging weather such as that floods and also intense hurricanes, downpours, and winter storms. Yeah, that's it. So one another is connected. But climate change is specifically in the long term of period changes. And then, yeah, this planet has increased population of humans, as we know. And some people believe that climate change is caused by humans, while others assume that it naturally happens. Some of you say that it is caused by humans, or any other statement. Which statement do you choose to agree and why? I wanna know why you choose the climate change is caused by human, or maybe you choose it's naturally happen. Anyone want to try to give their opinion? Miss Dewi, time is yours.
Okay. Like, like you said before, that climate change include both global warming, right? Now, as we
Yeah.
know, global warming is driven by human induced emission of greenhouse gases and the result large scale shift in the weather patterns, right? Right. So before the, as we know, before the 1990, 1980, when it was unclear whether warming by greenhouse gases will dominate aerosol induced cooling, scientists often use the term invented climate modification to refer to humankind's impact to the climate. It is in 1980. So it means the temperature, because of the global warming, because the greenhouse itself, it the temperature rise on the land is about twice the global average increase, leading to desert expansion and more common heat waves and wildfires. As you show us the picture about the fire forest, right? It is the result that the climate change driven by human. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Dewi. And then we continue to Miss Sohiru Zifni.
Okay, am I audible? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, to choose the statement between climate change is caused by human or naturally happens, of course, I absolutely believe that climate change is caused by human because the things that reality happen right now is not naturally happens, but human doesn't realize that they caused a climate change. For example, when they are smoking, they will not realize that they actually contributed to the increasing of climate change. When they use a vehicle, when they ride a vehicle, ride a car and other vehicles, they will not realize that they have contributed to the increasing of climate change. So something that exists in the sentence, which while others assume that it naturally happens, is actually unconsciously. I mean, like maybe they said that what they do is not affect to the climate change, but unconsciously it of course absolutely affect a lot, even though only for smoking for a moment, maybe yeah, they only didn't realize it. So that's why maybe it's what naturally happens because the effect is not very big, but actually they little by little affected to the climate change. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sohi who hits me. Sohi who Zihni, I'm sorry. So there is any two kind of opinion by human, but when the human doesn't realize that they're effect of climate change, so they guess it naturally happens. Another, yeah, maybe Mr. Sunshine.
Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, thank you. Okay, in my perspective, I disagree with both statement. I don't believe that climate change naturally happened, and also nor it is caused by some actions done by human. Probably more about it, but to look at into more specific way, I believe that climate change happens when you have like how to say it's like twisted emotion. Okay, so for instance, like Mr. Moonshine had another crush, so somehow he got rejected. Of course climate change will naturally happen because of there is a sudden twist of emotion there. Okay, so whether it's actually so scorching hot or freezing cold, because there is a sudden emotional change, it can bring you such a different emotion, such a different climate. Okay, you can actually feel so damn cold or feel so hot. It depends on how you put your how to say idealized writing your emotion into words. So if you don't believe that climate only due to the of emotion, you can just ask Mr. Moonshine because every time he read something in his Instagram, he must definitely feel something different in regard to the climate. Okay, I'm just kidding, by the way. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sunshine. So sudden emotional can bring a different climate, so we can bring our own better. All right, next, Mr. Ahmad Fatullah.
Thank you for this occasion. I suppose that both of them are contributing hugely for the climate change in certain region. I will give a little example about the Indonesia. But before blaming about the nature, maybe it's gonna be in my what genre, the same genre of me, human. Yeah. Homo sapiens are giving a huge impact for the climate change, particularly when they have the industrial revolution since 1980s. Seems like the first speaker said, and several times in the several times between the First World War and the Second World War. So uh, people or humankind producing the carbon dioxide that closed the atmospheric windows in our atmosphere, and it's giving a huge impact by creating the greenhouse effect, which increasing our temperature in the whole of our Earth. And it's the obvious impact that we give for our Earth to increasing the probability of the climate change. However, when we talk about the Indonesia in the natural impact or the nature give for increasing the probability of the climate change refers to your statement before about the less predictable season that happen in a region. I will give a little example that happens in the um, Pacific Ocean. In the Pacific Ocean, we know that the temperature of the sea is changing in several times. Sometimes it's hotter and sometimes it's cooler. We call it as the La Nino and El Nino. El Nino and La Nina. El Nino is giving what dry season to us longer, and La Nina giving Indonesia rainy season longer. And it's not easy to predict them happen in the future. So it's gonna be similar with your meaning about the climate change itself. It's like an anomaly climate that happened in a region, particularly in Indonesia. So when I put in a nutshell, both of them are contributing hugely for climate change in the whole of the world. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ahmad. Before Miss Suchi, do you want to answer?
Oh yeah, so actually when I raised my hand that my opinion is pretty much similar to Mr. Ahmad Fatullah.
Oh, alright.
Like about that it's not that I can choose between that is the climate change is caused by human or it's naturally happens. So actually both of it happened naturally and also human contribute in this climate change. Like I think like it's in record in geological record that before, like I think someone said before that our Earth, the land is twice larger than now. So actually, it's naturally happened from has always happened on Earth, but actually, it's happened, how to say, more dramatically because of human contribution, especially like Mr. Ahmad Fatullah before said that, especially after the industrial revolutions. So that is how it's increased surface in increased temperature in the Earth's surface, so something like that. So it's just like pretty much similar with the Mr. Ahmad Fatullah before. So I think yes, that's all for me.
Alright, so it naturally happens, but human increase the climate change from humans' activity in industrial revolutions, which bring carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, make a greenhouse gases effect. All right. How about Mr. Moonshine? You want to try to answer?
No, I agree with Mr. Sunshine right now. Don't worry. After this, I have another.
All right. Okay, we're gonna go. So this is the result. Yeah, there are many natural and anthropogenic human induced factors that contribute to climate change. This over 97% of scientists agree that humans cause climate change because of human activity that has increased greenhouse gases in the atmosphere since the Industrial Revolution. So you are guys right. And this is the detail. Yeah, from this diagram, we can see global greenhouse gas emission by cause there's any carbon dioxide about 65%. It comes from fossil fuel and industrial process. And also 11% come from forestry and other land use. And then we have methane in 16% It can come from agriculture activities, waste management, energy use, and also biomass burning. And then 6% of nitrous oxide, which comes from agricultural activities. And the last is fluorinate gas, which is come from industrial process, refrigerations, and the use of a variety of consumer products. So from the diagram who shows global greenhouse gas emission by economic sector, we can see that electricity and heat production has a big impact of for release greenhouse gas emissions. It's about 25%, and then the second one is from agriculture and forestry and other land use, 24%, and then the industry, 21%, transportations, 14%, polluting, and the other energy, 10%. So from this data, we can conclude that human has an impact increase planet, uh, which bring to the climate change. Yeah. So because of increased population in the planet, people are need of house for sheltering and require oils for their necessity, yes, including but not limited to cooking and massaging. So do you then believe that the advantage of clearing land for urban development and oil palm cultivation outweigh its disadvantage? Like, what do you think for urban development and oil palm cultivation? As we know, Indonesia was the one of the biggest producer of oil palm, which it is our big export, but it needs a lot of land. Is there anyone wanna give their opinion? Yeah, Mr. Sunshine.
Okay, I suppose that there would be a party or some people that likely say that the government, that what has been done for now in regard to the urban developments and oil palm cultivation will only benefit those living that life to the fullest. It means like 1% of those richest people in Indonesia, for example, like those executives beside the presidents. Okay, while it is not actually fully wrong, but I'd rather say that it is much urgent to control the populations we have right now. Because so far, even though our government has applied particular policies in regard to control the bird by having, like, for example, keluarga berencana program, but I suppose this is not enough because at the same time, our country never been enough to be considered able to how to say to decrease the number of corruption. The number of corruptions should be at least reduced so that all the funds that have been taken from the society in the form of tax can be returned toward the society to rejuvenate their welfare. Because we have been like increasing. We've witnessed such a huge leap in the increase of the number of the populations of the society. Meanwhile, the number of the quantity and the quality of welfare compromised or promised by the government does not even equal that. And as a result, we can say that there's a huge disparities, leaving the welfare of society. Meanwhile, the government still living their life with such wealthy facilities. This is somehow, I believe that, yeah, doing this kinds of urban development, clearing land and having more oil palm cultivations from happening will only burden the society, because at the end of the day, the government will put all the burdens financially towards society. The society need to not only finance themselves, but also need to need to handle the problems in regard to the debt that was how to say, that was helped or been done by the government, either toward inside corporations or home-based corporations, or to multinational corporations or or foreign countries. And yeah, I believe that shortly, the advantages of clearing land for urban development and oil palm cultivation still outweigh the advantages. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sunshine, for your opinion. There is no other one want to try to answer? All right, maybe I want to show you some video to make it more clear. All right, so from that video, after you see this, what do you think the government have to do? Because from the data before, it said that the government permitted they to clearing the land to grow these oil palm cultivations. Yeah, Mr. Moonshine.
Yeah, okay, maybe I'll try to give my opinion, because the agrarian issue, oil palm issue, is not really my subject, but maybe I can deliver with another perspective, maybe from the social things and others. So yeah, because we see that our government really have a trouble with how to say it, like with unemployment rate in Indonesia. So they are trying to find a solution, the fast solution, because their term in office is really short, right? Like only 2 periods, only 10 years if they are elected for 2 terms. So they're trying to find a fast solution to open a lot of job vacancy, especially in I don't know what in English, but about padat karya. And suddenly it came that palm oil is really uh, something bright ideas to solve the problem about that. So finally, they're trying to open a lot of land that exists in Sumatra or Borneo to fulfill their ambition to open a lot of uh, how to say it, like to open a job job vacancy, something like that. So yeah, and it also, if we want to find more in our constitution, it's really against our constitution actually, because in article 33 it says that our economic system is based on family economy, kekeluargaan, or the people, the system of our economies is economy kerakyatan. So it means when you try to open without consultation with the people there, it means that you against the constitution. So yeah, and palm oil is not really a long-term business. It's not really a long-term environmental protection, because they can only survive, or they can only provide the product within 20 years or 30 years. What happened after 20 or 30 years? And now the great things from capitalism is they are really good in campaign, uh, or or make an invention. For example, like, the campaign about sustainable palm oil, for example. Yeah, I was the ambassador before, so I regret about that. But I saw that they are trying to find a way to make it as a good business, just good business. They never wants to understand the effect of the social. For example, like in the video, the people lost their land, and the people cannot access to the land to maintain their daily life, something like that. So it also hurt me when just like Mr. Sunshine said, the wealth is just came to only 1% people in Indonesia. Yeah, and it's as oligarch, if we want to say that. So yeah, the effect is not only the climate, the environmental effect, but also the social, the economic, because they never understand the ideas of the sustainable ideas. So yeah, maybe that's from me. Thank you.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you, Sir Sunshine, for your statement. So, yeah, that's really right, because uh, they're not to care about the effect of this clearing land for oil palm expansion, and just want to find a fast solutions. And it's also make Indonesia, our government in recent year has criticism for United Nations, because we are the fourth emitter in the world. We release a lot of greenhouse gases. One of the Oh yeah, Mr. Ahmad Fatullah, you wanna say something?
Yes, thank you. Well, here I only want to answer the question that you pops up before.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a good disputes among the people in the certain time, because the answer which one is more advantageous or less advantageous are dependent on the perspectives that we outweigh. Seems like when we have what the perspective when we outweigh the perspective, the economic, or maybe about the mm, several societies, maybe, or maybe about the how to say ketahanan nasional, the security of a nation. when we compare about the other nation, about the urbanization of the other nation. So when we stand for the aforementioned perspective, we can say that the urbanization and what the plantation of the oil palm are two actions that more advantages for this nation to be more survive in the race of nations in the whole of the world. Maybe it's only in my perspective, maybe. Yes, but when we stand for the perspective of the naturalists with support about the ecosystem, the natural habitat, about the animal nature, we will say that it's the huge disaster for them because it will reduce the land for the animals, for the um, what original plant and the other ecosystems to be more sustained for their future. So it's gonna be dependent on the standing of the people before they speak into the um, what panggungnya apa panggung? Yeah, the pledge. Yeah, maybe it's only in my opinion, dependent on the people that outweigh or the people that make it less important among these disputes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ahmad Fatullah. Yeah, so that depends on the perspective, which where we're more focused about in the economic or the naturalist, because each other has an advantage and disadvantage. So if we um, if we're perspective to this issues in the naturalist, we in this diagram we can see the greenhouse gas emissions emitted by land use in here. It's really really bigger than another sector. It's 48%. Almost half of greenhouse gas emissions comes from land use, including pit fires. Because of pit fires, can absorb 20 times carbon than another another land. We can imagine if a pit land was fired, they absorb a lot of carbon. They caught fires. Imagine how much carbon that release into our atmosphere. Yeah, and then we go to this picture. Before we're talking about advantage and disadvantage of urban uh, urbanization, urban development, and oil palm cultivations, and which if peatland got fired, it's gonna release a lot of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and our planet getting hotter. So from this picture, what did you get? What did you get from this picture? What's the thing comes out from your mind when you see this picture? Maybe
Hello? Nobody's home? There is signal problem maybe?
Yes, her traction is not stable. So anyone wants to give opinion about this?
But this one.
Because I can control about this PPT. Hello.
She's gone.
Hello, I'm so sorry. There's problem connection. Wait. Yeah, here we go. Okay, who wanna try to explain about this picture? I wanna give a chance for another participant, so you can wait for a moment, Mr. Ahmad. How about Mr. Sophie? All right, Mr. This is Miss or Mr. Hingers. All right, I think just Mr. Ahmad, time is yours.
Yes, yes. Thank you for this occasion. Because today is the day for enhancing my practice for speaking skills, so I will promote for the other attendants for encourage your capability in your speaking. Um, Even though yes, I have the bad pronunciation and grammatical errors. However, today is the day for learning English together. Um, Here, seems like I said before about the enclosure of the atmospheric windows because of the industrial revolution since 1980s. That was a huge what actors that giving the greenhouse effect towards our earth, because the greenhouse effect uh, is giving the the condition when the electrons from the or photon from the sun is not back to the space by by the atmospheric windows, so they are trapped in our earth and making the heat our earth to be hotter, and it creates the condition of our pole in arctics are gaining melting because of this condition. So it is something that happened in the picture that you pops up in front of me now. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ahmad. Yeah, guys, it's time for us to try our English. So maybe Mr. Kampung Course, you wanna adding some opinion about this picture?
Okay, thank you so much for for calling me. I represent to Mr. Kibo here. So actually, I still confused about this topic because I just know that the climate change is happen now, but but I don't know what is the things driven here, because yeah, as you told before, guys, that you discussed before, that it's happened driven by the human, but of course our nature also contribute. But from this but from this artistic, so what is that? I confused about that. Yeah, we know that when the ice already melt, the so the sun will absorb, isn't it? So the our earth will be hotter than before. But it's already happened, isn't it? I want to know about you all. So how come we can, what is that? It cannot be prevented, but how can we give the solution for this occasion like this one? So I still confused about that, but because it's already happened now, the ice is already melt. So is there something that we can do except that doing the preventing like this one? So I think that it will be a nice discussion to have that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's a really good opinion. So we're gonna keep that question. How can we give the solution of this phenomena? All right, maybe there is anyone again wanna try to explain what this ice and what's the impact to us? Maybe Miss Prima?
Yes, I'm.
Oh, Mr. Prima, I'm sorry. Yeah, Mr. Prima, time is yours if you wanna try to adding the opinion about this picture. Hello, can you hear our voice? I think he tried to fix it. Okay, maybe another participant. How's about Mr. Hendra? Oh yeah, Mr. Sunshine. I'm sorry, my laptop getting.
Okay, so Prima, you want to say something first since you open your microphone?
Uh, I'm I'm only see
Ah
and
yeah, Prima.
listen. uh, yes, this
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you by the way. I never expect that the ice that we found in Antarctic will benefit us in such a positive way. It can actually reflect the sun shines coming from the sun. Okay, so yeah, I guess it does make sense to say that the problem that the fact the ice existed in our Arctic melting. So when it melts more and more, significantly can be said that there will be more problems since our Earth will absorb more, how to say, more sun's heat, and it will somehow induce the increase or accelerate the growth of climate change. So climate change will be inevitably developed. And if we do not do something, I do agree with what has been said by Ms. Kampung course before. We need to come up with such a specific solution that because we have been limited in terms of authority, we are just totally nobody. But the very least we discuss about it, and somehow we can do and share some inspirations to others by spreading or doing some campaign in regard to how to make more ice in Arctic. How can we actually do that? I do not know, but yeah, probably we can help. We can help people become more aware, so that even though we are unable to create ice in our site, in our region, or even Arctic, which is barely possible in my perspective, yeah, we can do something that we will go. We're going to discuss about it later, right? Okay, so yeah, at the very least, we as the youngster have a awareness to spread and also have a convictions that our crisis in terms of environment will be solved at the end of the day. I think that's for me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sunshine, and then Mr. Moonshine.
Since sunshine is affected our eyes, so I need to say something to prevent something like that happen again. No, just kidding. Okay, from the picture that you show us, maybe it's a basic knowledge, right, to how to describe the heat that affected our eyes, so it melt and maybe flood something else, somewhere else. But the problem is, I just remember something from the journal that it said that the problem is actually not just about the climate change, but also the a lot of scientists afraid that maybe in the future we have to face some kind of pandemic just right now. For example, like right now we still don't know the first causes of COVID-19, right? So yeah, they said that if the ice melts and it will bring a lot of the virus in the ice, on the ice, in the ice, yeah, wherever they are. And it also it's also, the scientists also afraid that the virus is still active there. So it means that we have a lot of problems in the future if we don't have a if we don't come up with the solution that just like Mr. Sunshine said before. Because when you try to prevent the effect or the climate change, it it must come with the coordination or collaboration with a lot of countries. It's not just the responsibility of Indonesian government or Russian government. It also the responsibility of all of the nation. So yeah, maybe I just want to add that. Thank you, Miss Daniel.
Thank you. So from here, we can know that we really need a solution of this phenomenon. Yeah, that's right, Mr. Sunshine said before. If the ice can reflect the sunlight to back to the atmosphere, so when the planet getting hotter and the ice melts less from the and more is absorbed to the ocean. Less sea ice means more, and then the ocean control the Earth's climate system by circulating heat, moisture, and nutrients around the planet. Disruption in these systems multiple impact can lead to more frequent and extreme weather events around the world. So from this effect, like such as extra heat and then an extreme weather event, what are the impact of climate change that we have already felt? Before we gonna talking about what is the solution that can we give to this phenomena, we need to know what are the impact of this climate change that you guys have already felt. I wanna hear the opinion from Miss Fifi. Or maybe Miss Fulan. Do you have some uh, opinion? Do you feel some impact for climate change so far? Miss Suchi, maybe?
Oh, yes. So I think the impact of climate change that we have already felt is classic. So yes, the sun heat, the sunshine, the sun heat that we already felt that it's not these days, but recently, like after a couple years lately, that the temperature is very hot. Even before I was living in Bandung, and I still remember that it's very cold there. Like I can't really get up in the wake up in the morning. I can't really get up in the morning because it's very very cold. But then now I when I go to Bandung, even after I live in the very hot what is it in the city which has a very hot temperature, I feel like it's not that cold. I can stand this temperature or something like that. Like before, like for honestly, like even for taking a bath, it's just like it's a very a problem for me to take a bath in Bandung, where I live in Jatinangor before in Sumedang. Like so it's very it's maybe like it the 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 difference is about like 5 to 8 years, but the difference is very I feel that the very huge difference on the temperature. Yes, that's all I think. Temperature sounds it's classic. So, but that is the most. I mean, the most basic things that we can feel directly about the climate change impacts. That's all for me. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, Miss Suchi. Yeah, she feels the difference of temperature. How about Miss Sophie? What are you feel?
All right, thank you, Miss Dania, for the opportunity. The climate change that I have already felt, probably the increase of floods and forest fires, especially because I live in Borneo, specifically in Samarinda. So yeah, there are many coal uh, coal company. So there are a lot of people mining, and also all of those impact our activity, our not only impact our daily activity, but also agricultural activity, I guess. And then it also definitely impact our health. Yeah, that's from me. Thank you, Miss Dania.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Sophie. So, she feels the impact is wildfire and floods, and it's also impact to our health. That's a good statement. So, how about Mr. Sunshine? Do you want to share your
Okay, probably the most significant one that might considerably affect our awareness toward climate change is the rainfall pattern. I believe that currently the rainfall pattern becomes shorter, and also the amount, the length of rain become also shorter, and that significantly affect the agro-based industries or agriculture typical occupations since uh, the 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 shorter the period of rain season makes it even become how to say scarce or rarer to produce paddies because paddies especially in need of a rain or such sufficient amount of water, and that's why it will stimulate the increase of the price of the paddies, and it will how to say it will threaten the ability of the purchasing power of people because when we know that when we know and totally realize that the paddy becomes the most consumable um, product or something how to say a food for Indonesian citizen. I believe that when okay, when that becomes pricey, of course it will affect on how people will survive. Because so far in the midst of pandemic, everything become very expensive, and job vacancies also limited, and also oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, because we live in such a how to say adverse situation, and yeah, the rainfall right now, the rainfall becomes more unpredictable. Even though we live in how to say, is it rainy season right now? But we do not enjoy any rainfall at all, and somehow somewhere becomes even more scarce in terms of water, and somewhere becomes even the experience of witness excessive flood, like what has been said by the speakers. I think that's the most current effect that I felt from the climate change. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sunshine. Yeah, said about rainfall, unpredictable rainfall. How about
Ah, in the whole of our life, I only live in this world for 20 years old. Not exactly, more than that, Leslie. However, something when we said about I can feel it, we need to know about the knowledge of it. So when I have learned about the climatology in the class in the university, I just know that in 2019, I found that hmm, a little climate change happened in that at that time um, because of the El Nino that happened in the Pacific Ocean that created the situation of the longer dry season in Indonesia at that time. And in 2020, we gained a longer rainy season in Indonesia because of the iodine positive in the India Ocean. So both of them are the real climate change happen in the whole of our life that I have already felt. However, when we talk about the situation, seems like the rain of fish that happen in the outside region of Indonesia, maybe that was a real climate change that I haven't already felt. And about the snow, uh, no, the rain of snow that happened in Dieng since in 2020. I never felt that, but I know it from the I knew it from the information in the news. Maybe we face the real climate change in Indonesia by both of the what examples that I spoken in this certain time. Thank you.
all right? Thank you, Mr. Ahmad. So far, uh, most of participants talking the impact in the environment. So I wanna ask you guys, what is the impact of this effect of climate change, like floods, uh, and extreme weather, to our health? Yeah, it's not about our environment, but how about us? Oh, there is any Miss Diana comes here? Miss Diana?
I thought Ahmad Fatullah raised his hand first.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Ahmad, you wanna adding something?
Um, maybe it's only in my situation because it's only we felt so it's gonna be me and my community, right? So um, what gratitude for the God, I gain a good healthy for facing 2019 and 2020. So I don't receive any huge impact from the climate change examples that I have spoken before. However, when I see about the graph of the coronavirus that in 2020, when we face the longer period of the rain season at the time, we face a huge amount of debt. So it's the real impact for health for our nation towards the climate change because of the iodine positive from the India Ocean. So yes, it's the real effect for our health because the season change in our nation. Thank you.
How's about Mr. Moonshine?
Yeah, since you mentioned about our health, maybe what I feel right now is people right now they are easier to get angry. I don't know why. Maybe because of the climate change, or maybe because the temperature become heater or something like that. So I saw that a lot of people get uh, easily to angry at something, and also maybe because of the climate change we face the unfair situation in economy. For example, like the people that already into the corporation business about mining, about gas, about oil, they already feel satisfied in that situation. But a lot of young generation, right now they are faces limited choices because of the climate change. We right now we cannot also enter the business because they're trying to stop it, right? Like, yeah, we know that the government wants to stop the mining business, coal, something like that in 2030. And also maybe the climate change affect impact us. For example, like like how to say it, like people right now already, oh, she's gone. People right now, she's gone.
It's okay, just continue later. Give it back. I will give it
Yeah,
back.
I'm okay, Mr. Cool. Just basa-basi. Yeah, maybe people right now they don't want to spend a lot of time outside right now. They want, maybe they prefer to just stay at home, not because only the pandemic or because of the stay-at-home advices, but also because of the temperature or the situation that make a lot of people just want to prefer to stay at home, and also maybe because of the climate change. Uh, we cannot feel or we cannot experience the story of our parents. For example, like I forget who said it before. She said that Bandung long time ago is really cold and uh, yeah, feels so nice to live in Bandung, right? But right now we can see that Bandung already changed a lot. There, we right now have a we right now so not warm but hot actually, and then something like that. So we lost something that really identify us as a Bandung person. Whoa, nice, Mr. Indre.
After this, we take picture with this background together
Okay.
to celebrate your graduations.
Yeah, maybe that's it from me, Mr. Ku.
Okay, that's really interesting topic. Okay, wait, I'm going to share screen because Miss, how to say, where's the picture? Okay, we'll open the climate change. Um, okay, I go with this. Is it too late to prevent climate change? Is there anyone wants to give a perspective about this question? Okay, I can see Miss. Okay, Mr. Sunshine, the floor is yours. Mr. Sunshine.
Okay, but I'm sorry. Okay, so I believe that I'm just too excited to answer or respond this question. Okay, preventing climate change can be considered too late when we realize that it's actually doomsday. But since we're still alive and still having generations that will proceed or continue our fights in preserving such quality environment for our generations in the next future, I believe that's not too late. As long as we still having the ability to optimize or to utilize the blessings God give us, for example, like brain, a good health, and good health, perfect body. I believe that this is the moment, especially those who earns education and just graduated, to to function what they have been learning, yeah, from their campus so that more people can open their eyes about what's actually such what the dire circumstance or such a dangerous situation surrounding us right now. Yeah, because we've been blinded by such how to say such striking news absorbing all our attention. For example, like political stuff, because we know that our political health in Indonesia is not that good, and it always make us wants to curse our government, and that's why I believe that it significantly reduces our awareness toward environments. And we, one side at least, still want to say that we protect our environment without doing without doing something that can efficiently prove our seriousness in supporting these kinds of environment movement. Okay, so this is to say, this is quite ironic and tragic at the same time, because at the very least, we must do something that we regard as efficient way to prevent the climate change for ourselves and by ourselves. At the very least, if we do not want to join ourselves in such a how to say economic empowerment group or any activities related to environment preservation. I think that's the thing that I can say in regard to this question. Thank you. So,
Right, it's really fascinating indeed. So I give the chance to Mr. Marshine. Mr. Marshine. Okay, yeah, time is yours.
Okay, well, if this question is talking about is too late to prevent the climate change, the answer is not. But we are late to prevent the superpower or oligarchies in our countries. It's not in Indonesia, but in all over the world. Could you imagine, yeah, how superpower oligarchies nowadays is like they can kill the several of people that has invented the renewable or the green energies. The several years ago, there is one man that created one of the famous renewable energies that changed from oil, from oil to the water. But I don't know what happens after that. And that man was killed by the several people that have power in that energies. I suppose that is coming from the several people in oil energies. So this is the reasons that we need the way how to hit trends or how to stop the several people, yeah, that trying to look down the several renewable energies or the green energies, yeah, because the renewable and the green energy is one of the way of us how to be safe, especially how to use the energies, because you can see on how dangerous the big industry with using coal, with using oil and others as what as the big portions that produce that climate change itself. So this is the reason that I have to say that start from now we have to find, yeah, the several renewable energy and the green energy, and we have to create it, and also we have to sell it massively. So this is my assumption. Thank you.
Right, it's really interesting idea. So, okay, the next I give the chance to Mr. Moonshine. Time is yours.
No, Miss Sophie first.
Ah yeah, Miss Sophie first. Miss Sophie Rua.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cool. I just gonna add some more because it's already explained by previous speakers. Of course, we never too late to change something, I guess, but it's gonna be a big problem to solve. I think we can start with spread more campaign, like just a little step. For example, start from our lifestyle as an individual and about the food we eat, the things we use. Probably we can use more renewable energy, and then how we treat the nature. And we can also make people think that today maybe having a car is a cool, but choose bikes as our transportation is cooler. So we try to put new mindset for the generation that the more less energy that we use, that the cooler person we're gonna be. I think this that just one of the example. Thank you, Mr. Ku.
Yeah, it should be this midst of pandemic, many people change their healthy life to do cycling. They're going somewhere by using motorcycle. Okay, that's right. Okay, next, Mr. Moonshine. Time is yours.
Yeah, yeah, maybe I already agree with Mr. Sunshine or Mr. Marshine, but yeah, the complex things that we have to do to prevent the climate change, just like Mr. Martian already said, it's the system. They already make a system that the oligarch already like protect each other. And for example, like in Indonesia, why we cannot why a lot of the campaign about what the sustainable land or something like that, sustainable energy, something like that, is really hard to get the heart of the public, because they already how to say, the oligarch already in power to prevent that. And we also have a trouble with how to say it, like the people wants to make real things to do, because the campaign in internet is really not enough to change the policy. We have now we can see that a lot of not tribal, yeah, tribal ya, masyarakat adat, that they already try to fight back the company or the corporate to protect their land. We saw it in Borneo, in Sumatra, in Papua right now. They stand now and fight for the land. And it also made me realize that the only one or the only community that protect the land or the forest or something like that is only the tribe community. Because they feel that the nature is their mother. So if you try to explore the nature, it means that you rape your mother. And because of that philosophy, I realized that why Indonesia, that a lot of people say about budaya ketimur-timuran, and then but they never actually implemented the ketimur-timuran custom that they keep saying about that. So I think it's not too late, but it's already late. So I agree with that. And it's like bomb time. We just like we just wait until the biggest effect that climate change can affect the human life. And also the first thing that government can do maybe is the transition of the economic system. The economic system is not just about the the protection to the poor, but also is the protection of the environmental. Maybe they can imply, or maybe they can learn from the tribe community to protect the motherland. So that's it from me. Thank you.
Right. It's cool. But the background is cool. Okay, anyone wants to give another perspective regarding to this topic? Miss Sandra?
Me.
Okay, Mr. Marshine.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, based on the journals coming from, yeah, one of the famous researcher that stands in the global warming fields, and this is Mr. Peter Rogers. He said that one of the biggest problems that coming from the global warming is because of the big industries that appears nowadays. So this is the reasons that, yeah, we as the government, yeah, we need to make a system or trying to encourage a kind of the renewable and also green energy to be published and also created massively in our countries. So one of the evidence that show that the oligarchies in our country is a bigger or big than what I think is like what happened with electrical cars. Yeah, that want to make massively in the campaign of Jokowi the several years ago, right? So yeah, the innovation of Ricky Elson until today has not been published, even though, yeah, even though this is one of the nice amazing innovations that Indonesia has nowadays. But I suppose that there are the several big oligarchies that stop Joko Widodo to support these big projects. Yeah, one of them is like Toyota, is like what Yamaha and others as the biggest investor of Indonesia today. So this is the reasons that if there is the electrical car, and when they're trying to create it massively, so of course it'll try to disrupt the business of the several oligarchies in Indonesia. So this is the reason that we can say that in fact in the evidence that Indonesia, even though as the president, they are still afraid with the oligarchy. So let's go. We have to fight oligarchy together. Fight with the nice ways. Absolutely.
Okay, Miss Dania, you can lead this discussion again.
All right, I'm sorry, guys. My connected suddenly disconnected. Uh, can I share my screen? Thank you. All right, so yeah, we're now talking about is it too late for us to prevent this climate change? And then next, what are actually we can do to fight this climate change? Yeah, Mr. Martian first. Hello?
Yes, sir. Whom do you choose, Mr. Marsign or Moonshine? Which one will be the first?
Oh yeah, Mr. Moonshine.
He trapped me. Yeah, yeah. Actually, we already talk about what are we actually can do, right? And but it's okay. Yeah, I said before that the first thing that we can actually try to do is more know more about our traditional value. So we have to learn from the tribal, not tribal. What is masyarakat adat? The tribe community that really they are identified their nature as their mother. That's the first thing that we can do because uh, in their perspective, in their ideas, in their ideology, if you are explore your nature, exploration and something like that, it means that you rape your mother. For example, like in Papua, in Freeport, they actually disagree with the exploration there because of the philosophy that the what is the mound there, Grossberg, that yeah, the mound in Freeport that mining a lot of gold there. The philosophy is that is the stomach of the mother. Nah, but in media we know that they fight because of the injustice in economy, but it's not really true because of that. And yeah, I think that the first thing that we really can do when we when we get more empathy with our nature, more feel the nature, more care to the nature, it means that we can do anything to protect them, protect it, protect it. So I think that's from me. Thank you. Marshine, don't do that again.
All right, thank you, Mr. Moonshine. Wait a minute. So yeah, it may not be too late to avoid or limit some of the worst effects of climate change. We can do mitigations, reducing the flow of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, and also adaptations, learning to live with and adapt to the climate change that has already been set in motion. Yeah, there is some support. The early years, Blackpink tapped as advocate for United Nations Climate Action campaigns, which in November in this year, in November 2021, they will have a conference about climate change, also called COP26, where world leaders will come together to take the action to protect our environment. What's happened again with my laptop? All right, so maybe this is our last discussion. Which one of these solutions has more feasibility and benefit for the current Indonesia, and why? There is any zero-waste lifestyle, renewable source of energy, converting woods into energy, planting tree and reduce deforestation, stop using plastic, avoid using too much air. Yes, Mr. Moonshine.
Don't take it serious to my answer. I think the best solution and can benefit to us is change the president. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your opinion. Is there anyone else have a different opinion? Maybe how about Miss Sophie, Mr. Primus, Miss Suchi?
Hello. So because you just called my name, so I just want to give just a little bit opinion about it. So thank you for the time. I just take my time. So um, first of all, I do agree with Mr. Moonshine. I think we need to change the president. I just like by the time you finish your sentence, I did a hell yeah. I said it like that. So because like Because I don't know. I don't know who is better. Is there any better person to be a president? But definitely not him. So because like before in Sumatra and Sumatra, maybe Padang, West Sumatra and Pekanbaru, when we feel about the how to say kebakaran hutan before I don't remember about the year about 2018. So I just feel that all of the his statement is not, it's very, how to say, he's such a traitor at that time. So back to this which one of the solution has more feasibility and benefits for the current Indonesia and why? So in my opinion, the how to say, the basic thing that we can do start from by ourselves, we just like maybe we can choose about the small things, about the basic things, about like zero waste lifestyles, and then also stop using plastic and also converting waste into energy, because like for planting tree and renewable source of energy, and also avoid using too much air, too much, is that too much air? Okay, too much air, that the we need more power to do that. But for zero waste and stop using plastic and converting waste into energy, we can do it like from ourselves in our daily life. So for example, like in when we how to say when we shop at Alfamart or Indomaret, like some of, maybe it's already happened in the several cities that they do not provide any plastic anymore, but I still find some of them still provided. So it's just like even for the one bottle of mineral water, they also give the plastic for that, for the plastic bag. And also because currently I'm staying in West Sumatra, and in like city regency, it's like a small city, like so when I bring my own bag, when I need to shop to the for the grocery shop, it's just like that. Why you don't need to bring your own bag, because we provide it for free, so something like that. So it's just like here it's still strange that why you don't need some plastic about that. So that is why I think it's just such a small move from ourselves, like start from there, that I'm trying to instead of only go for shopping for one shop, that I'm trying to shop in the different kind of shop, and then so that is why I want to tell them, or I want to give a example, that you don't need to provide it, and then you can ask your customer to bring their own bag, and or you don't need to provide the plastic bag for such a small things that they buy. So I think that is the more benefit, and benefit for Indonesia, because how to say, instead of a direct impact about all this move, it just like the how to say, the kesadaran is very very minimum, because in Indonesia we don't really have such a lots of big city. We still have a like a small city, and also the how to say, the places that way they don't really care about that. So I think it just like how to say, the time bombs, like bom waktu. So it's just like because they don't really care about that. So I think it's just a small move from ourselves. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Suchi. That's such an amazing statement. So, we need our consciousness to do small action to save this planet. All right, so if there's no other one to wanna give their opinion, is it time is over, Mr. Cook?
Yes, you can sum up the discussion tonight.
Okay, guys. I'm so sorry for the trouble that I was make on my internet connection before, but thank you so much for your participation and having me in this discussion. Yeah, I think that's my closing statement. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much for leading us the discussion. Okay, let me share screen. About the new vocabularies that we learned tonight is about kinship, kekeluargaan. Last time Mr. Moonshine said about kekeluargaan, kindship. Outweigh means mengalahkan, besarnya atau lebih penting dari. Stage, panggung or purge, ketahanan nasional, national resilience, indigenous people, masyarakat adat, and fast fire. Fast fires means kebakaran hutan. Okay, before we close the discussion tonight, and I please you to open your camera and we will take a picture together. Miss Sandra, Miss Sophia Rua, Miss Uchi, Mr. Hendra. Hi, we are waiting for your handsome and beautiful face. Mr. Hendra, Miss Uchi. With
Kita udah
the
sejajar belum sih fotonya?
Okay, let's change the background to celebrate our friend graduation.
Okay. Okay, I will count it. Miss Uchi. Yeah. Mr. Hendra, we are waiting for you. Okay, let me count it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, wait. I'm going to share first. Okay, once more. Once more. Wait. I got the trouble. Okay. Okay, once more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much. And before we close our discussion tonight, when I say OTA community, we have to answer yesterday, you say tomorrow. Okay, OTA community?
Yesterday you say tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much for joining this discussion. And the last I say good evening. Bye bye.
Thank you, see ya, guys.